So I was gigging. It's always been like this for me, where I'll get gigs all within the same week or within the same couple of weeks, and then nothing happens for a little bit. But there was a little bit of regularity happening with my gigs just before COVID. And I think the last one I did was back in February at the Hepburn Palais. And so I was kind of at a point where I was ready to reach out myself a bit more about gigs. I've always been the kind of person that waits for someone to reach out to me, which is not the greatest attitude to have, but I found a lot of them came through Facebook and word of mouth, and so people would message me and ask for gigs, and then I would, from there, maybe another one would pop up. So I was at a point ready to really put a lot more energy and effort into going out there and gigging a bit more, and then of course this happened. Yeah. But I did, when I was there for that gig, that was meant to be like a support act gig for someone from Sydney who was touring around Australia, and they had to cancel their part of the gig at Hepburn and then go back home because I didn't want to get stuck in Victoria and all the rest. So it kind of happened within, the space of a day. I got the phone call from Hepburn being like, oh, our main act's not going to be here, so can you play for a bit longer? And that was all sorted, and then I got there and there was, not much of a crowd, and they were like, yeah, this is our last thing for the foreseeable future, and that was it, kind of. I did my gig, went home and was like, okay, I'll wait till this ends and wait for the next one. Yeah, I was looking into getting a bit more gear. My setup is very simple, and I'm not hugely versed in all of the tech side of music. And so I was looking into a bit of a better setup, looking into saving for maybe a new guitar, because I haven't bought a new one in about 5 years. So I was hopefully going to start just recording myself a bit, and then maybe making, putting the feelers out to do a bit more recording, yeah. It's actually been pretty hard to be creatively engaged, I've found, just because I find a lot of the stuff I write about comes from doing things. And I mean, that's the case for a lot of writers and a lot of people who make things, that you draw from the experiences that you have, all the people around you, all the little snippets of conversation that you hear. That's really what fuels my kind of writing. So yeah, a lot of what I write about is fueled by experiences and doing things and hearing conversation around me and my interactions with other people. And so, of course, we haven't really been able to do all that much. And online communication's still a thing, but that's really not all that inspirational. And so I found myself it's been a little difficult to write or engage in my own music in that way. I mean, I do like little half-cooked covers on Facebook every now and then, and to, keep myself a little bit engaged. But and it's nice to hear from people and get the comments and the likes and all the rest, and keep myself active in that way. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot. I've done a couple of online gigs, and had a couple of little interview kind of things when all of the packages were being announced for the music industry. But that's, the first lockdown, I feel like was kind of not exciting, but I was curious about it. I was like, this is going to be interesting to see what happens. And now this second lockdown is coming to an end now, but it's been really like, when will this be over? Because I was definitely in a place before COVID ready to, go, guns a-blazing. And I felt like I was getting a few more council gigs, which is a nice spot to be in. So yeah, it is it's a big bummer, really. And it feels like, even though nothing's happening, it feels like you're missing out on something. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it does feel like there's a strong air of uncertainty about what's going to happen afterwards. I can say this now, and it'll be probably totally different by the time it actually happens. I do want to be way more proactive about getting my own gigs, securing my own gigs, and keeping them regular, and forging those relationships with venues and bookers and things like that, and I do want to reach out to other musicians. I've always been a little bit of a solo person. It's kind of daunting to think about collaborating with others or recording with others, but that's definitely something I don't want to miss out on. So I think that'll definitely be something I try and get going. I do feel there's a level of, I don't know what the word is, there's a little barrier when it comes to reaching out to get gigs or dipping into the scene and then securing a spot in the scene. It feels like, and obviously this happens with the people that go to gigs as well. There are often people who know the bands. So it feels like a community that you don't know how it's come together, but it's set in its ways. And if you want to try and get in, it's kind of like, who is this person trying to edge their way inside here? So it would be nice. And I understand the music community, any arts community, I think always are very open to all kinds of people, and you can feel very welcomed in those spaces. But securing a place, I think, is one of the hardest things to try and achieve. So I would love to see, I don't know, like an open arms approach, I suppose, an embracing of everyone and everything, which is a lot to ask. But I think that would be, and I can kind of see it in a very hopeful utopian view, being like that after everything that has happened. So I would hope for that. I would also hope on the other side that it really helps to drive people to gigs more. It's pretty disheartening, obviously, when you're not playing to huge rooms or one person that you actually know. So it would be nice to see, a bit more of drive for the public to go to live gigs. I've always wanted to do a bit more vocally, and I think I've always been a bit scared to. I've always had this idea of, I suppose, Kate Miller-Heidke would be a good way, like a good reference point. She does a lot of vocal layering and uses her voice in multiple ways as the instrument that it is. So I would love to experiment with that kind of stuff, and I've never tried to, but I've always wanted to. So I suppose now, would be a good time to.
Today I'm getting started on an arrangement for Away in a Manger for a potential Christmas gig that's coming up. So I think I'm going to learn the song as it is and then try and change it in a way that's comfortable and interesting for me. So to start, I just have the ultimate guitar chords, some random person's acoustic versions of the song to base my own learning off, and also the original melodies, so the US one being Mueller and the English one being Cradle Song, which I think is the one that most people here in Australia are familiar with. I'll just use a mixture of all of these three to learn the song and then change it around how I see fit.
In a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky look down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The boys of the NYPD choir still singing Galway Bay, and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
About to record my version of Away in a Manger to send to the organiser of a gig that I'm doing in October, so they can, so that it's okay, and so they can see if they want to put any orchestration with it.
The lighting in here is atrocious because I have these really low light lamps in my room, but I'm literally just sitting on my bed with my laptop and a Yeti microphone to quickly scrap this together.
Down where he lay. Jesus asleep on the hay. Cattle all away, the baby he laid. by me forever, and lovely I pray. Bless all the dear children in thy tender care. Take us to heaven to live with thee there. Lay in a manger, no crib for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. Stars in a bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay.
Where every time I film one of these, I'm in some form of pajama wear. Today I'm off work because I'm a bit sick, so I thought I would just play around and see if I can come up with some kind of song. I've been meaning to do a little bit of playing around just with recording and layering my vocals and guitar, so that's what I'm working on today. I found out today that the Christmas gig that I've been preparing Away in a Manger for has been cancelled because COVID's made things a bit more difficult. Story of 2020. But that's okay, it's a bit disappointing, obviously, because it would have been nice to go and do a gig again, and there was a little bit of potential, a little bit of maybe around a duet, but it's been canned, so that's fine. I'll just focus on recording, writing a couple more tunes, and maybe getting some social media stuff happening.
Am I warm enough, woman enough, all or nothing? Stand tall enough, don't gather rust.
Ah, fuck that up.
Am I warm enough, woman enough, all or nothing? Stand tall enough, don't gather rust, all or nothing.
Doesn't sound that good. Oh, whoops. Sorry, feedback. Oh my god. I think it's this middle one. I don't know. Whatever. There is something off. There is something off right there. Oopsie days. Let's cut and delete you.
I can barely hear my fucking self. God.
let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that.